every district. Down here. All right, so we will call to order the meeting and do a roll call.
Here.
Here.
Stretch.
Here.
Hutton.
Present.
Buckland.
Present. All right, and now we'll stand and do the pledge of allegiance. Back there.
I was like, here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So the mission statement for the Interstate 35 Community District exists to develop lifelong learners and responsible, productive, successful citizens in an ever-changing society. The district priorities are to articulate and support a cohesive, student-centered PK-12 vision for continuous school improvement, engage in effective teaching and relevant learning for the 21st century, and operate with fiscal integrity, efficiency, and effectiveness. The board goals are to continue to strengthen the culture of learning at Interstate 35 Community School District that lends to engaged learning and rigorous growth. By the end of the school year, the school will ensure transparency and will achieve optimal resources management by aligning staffing levels with student enrollment, maintaining a balanced budget, and ensuring full compliance with Iowa taxation laws. All right, so to discuss and approve agenda, so I would take a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Opposed? Okay. All right. Open forum, and we have none, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then the public hearing on the 2026-2027 district calendar. So we will now open the public hearing for this calendar.
And there are no speakers.
All right.
I don't know if you guys want to have a conversation about it.
This is just presented by the calendar committee within the school, correct?
Yep, it's the same one that I went through last month, so there's no changes.
Good.
Okay, with no discussion, I'm going to close the public hearing. And we'll move on. Our student representative report is, she
Couldn't make it tonight.
could not make it tonight. That's quite all right. Everyone's busy with the holidays, so we'll move on. Road Runners Celebrate Success. So the district instructional coaches, Whitney, Wes, and Sarah Coder, are going to share with us some of the work that they've done with teachers over the first half of our year. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Okay.
Should we stand up here?
Yeah.
All right, so we're instructional coaches. My name is Sarah Coder. This is Whitney West. And our mission is leading with heart and serving with purpose. So leading with heart is our vision to bring out the best in others. And by serving with purpose, we empower teachers both personally and professionally. And we believe that when we support teachers, that in turn allows them to grow and produce fruit, which benefits students, our school, and our district and community. All right, so our coaching impact this year. So far this year, this semester I should say, Sarah and I have or are working currently with 13 teachers to reach our building goals across the district. We have been in classrooms and we've been doing some observations. Our goal is to hit every single teacher in the district at least once a month. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, but most of the time we have been able to hit the majority of the teachers in our district. We've been helping teachers by providing professional development, supporting them in PLC. We also lately helped with the career fair. And in professional development, we've been focusing a lot on, with secondary, meeting their building goal of student engagement. So we talked a lot about the continuum of engagement and where students fall in that and how to get students from passively just sitting and not interacting in class to like active participants and taking ownership of their learning. Then we've also done student engagement templates. In professional development, we have given teachers tools for working in their classrooms with students to help them become more engaged. So one of the ones that Sarah made was Quiz Trade. And we've had several teachers reach out and ask for like the template of that so that way they can replicate it and use it in their classrooms. Recently we had reached out to 3M, and they provided us with some supplies that we've been giving to teachers. So one of the big requests that we've had are like the huge anchor chart papers that are like sticky that we like you can post around the whole room. We've handed a bunch of those out. We've had sticky notes. We've had pens. I'm trying to think what else? Band-aids. Just miscellaneous stuff. Yeah. And then we've also been helping teachers with classroom coverage since there is a shortage. Observation we talked about already. Education grant support. So we reached out to the Education Foundation for whiteboards, double-sided whiteboards. That way teachers in the secondary could use those for building thinking classrooms. We've been modeling that in some of the coaching cycles that we've had, and there's been an increase of teachers wanting that. But instead of borrowing the elementaries all the time, we thought it might be nice to have our own setup here. So we did fill out, and it was accepted and approved, and they're actually sitting over there in the corner of the room. We just need to put them together. So, and then interventions, a lot of our work this year we have been focusing on in coaching cycles is on teaching or supporting teachers with tier 2, yes, and tier 2 supports and data in their classrooms.
Okay, so building off of what you just shared, in our coaching cycles, we build teacher capacity through specific goal setting and purposeful action. So this is kind of like an example of something that we're working with currently with teachers and what it looks like in action. So on the left side of the screen, you'll see how we're aligning assessments and assignments to standards. So it starts up here with the standards and color coding those standards and identifying where those standards lie in the assessments, and then building our tasks based off of those standards and identifying where those standards meet the tasks. And then on the right hand of the screen, you'll see how we are introducing data collection to a teacher here and using that data to drive instruction. So a pre-test, once this is done, a pre-test is then administered. And through that pre-test, we can then have conversations on what students already know, what students need to know, how students will demonstrate learning, and how learning will be extended. So after that pre-test is done, we can have conversations on how to group students so that way they are successful on that first task. So this first task, which we're going to call BOE1 or Task 1, which is essentially just their first assignment that they have in class and they get a grade on. So you can see where students are and where we want them to go. So you may notice how 3 students here fell out on that first task. So then the conversation shifts to what are we going to do for these 3 students who fell out on that task. In this coaching cycle, small group intervention was introduced to this teacher. So pulled up students to a table and then retaught this skill to those 3 students. Then that second task was administered, and this was actually pretty interesting. This provided a great coaching opportunity on just recognizing that that task didn't go as intended. So before we administer that third task, the conversation was based around what do we need to do with this before we shift to this test. So that's where a reteaching opportunity needed to happen before we shift to that third task and that post-task assessment. So you can see after that second task was retaught, they were successful. Most of the students were successful on that third task. And if you click again, you can see the shift from all these different color codes and how that their learning gradually increases to the green. And you can see by that post-assessment, with all these things that were taking place, we have nearly 80% of students that are reaching proficiency and mastery towards that standard. So by coaching teachers on how to use data to drive instruction, we can really just control that learning and how students and communicate that learning to students and to parents in our district on how to get them to where they need to be.
All right, so with that, we have a couple goals for our future. We want to continue to support professional learning and coaching cycles throughout the year with both buildings. We want to increase the number of coaching cycles at the secondary level. We've noticed lately that most of our coaching cycles tend to come from the elementary. So we want to get into more teachers' classrooms at the secondary level. Continue using data to guide instruction and shape those coaching conversations. We want to organize and structure the curriculum hub for easy access and use. We have tons of resources that we have compiled over the years into Google Drive, and it's kind of messy. So we want to like help streamline that stuff so it's easy for teachers to find the stuff that they need to support students in the classroom. Keep working to strengthen a positive school culture. Build strong relationships to support and grow more teacher leaders within our district. Support admin by fostering strong teams and relationships across the district as well.
I do want to give a teacher shout out, Summer Pasuti. She is a brand new teacher in our district. This is her first year. We talked about student engagement and professional learning, and you can see this was a classroom observation, so I just happened to walk into her room and did a short observation on her, and I noticed a clear transfer of learning from professional development into this teacher's classroom. It was extremely effective. So she was doing what's called inside-outside circle, and you can see it kind of here where the students are facing each other. This way, in this strategy, students can't hide behind their computers or doing paper pencil work. They have to get up, they have to practice 21st century skills, and they have to communicate with each other. They can't hide. So we increased student engagement from about 25% to nearly 50% or more in this given task. So she pops questions up on the screen about a book that they had read, and they're working through those questions verbally with each other. So it's also fast thinking, and you see that. So after that, I recognized what she was doing in her classroom and gave her cause and effect feedback and how what she was doing was affecting student learning and student engagement in her room.
Just curious, with the 13 cycles you have, where is that primarily at, or is it spread throughout the whole school?
Most of them right now are elementary.
I will say though, we're gaining ground in the secondary. It's been pretty enlightening to see the work that we're doing in the secondary. So,
And that's not a question to dig in,
Yeah,
right?
no,
Just because
yeah.
we struggle with that, right? And I'm like, I was curious it was heavier that way because we seem to deal with that too, and it's heavy.
it's having a positive
Yeah.
impact in the secondary.
And then you notice too, like it's almost like word of mouth. Like one teacher will come and ask for support, and then it's like they start talking or like seeing something in the classroom. They're like, wait a minute, where did you get that from? And then they're like, well, I got it from Sarah and Whitney. So then they come to us, and then it's kind of
Okay.
like it's really helping.
It's
us.
helping
Good.
the culture
Yeah.
too. I mean, the conversations, and I think her and I working as a team and showing that we're a team, and showing that we're a team with Carla and our administrators is helping the culture throughout our district to see that we are one team instead of two separate buildings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's just awesome, the data, how you're using the data, from test to test and helping the teacher, kind of retrospective that test by looking at the tests that the scores that you had from the kids, and then saying, okay, if I understand you correctly, we're going to take this group of kids and we're going to, give them a little bit more closer instruction, right, based off that. But more importantly, like the whole red column you saw was like, what went wrong here? Like, they're supposed to be progressing. And we go back and look and see, did we teach it differently? Do we have a different inside-outside circle rather than up, just up talking about it? So that's just fantastic to see the data being used to drive that. And you said that's, you're primarily working in elementary, but that, those data-driven insights you're working to get into the secondary more and more?
That data set that you just saw was from the secondary.
Secondary? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done. That looks exciting. So thank you for all your hard work.
It's very exciting, and honestly, being in a teacher's shoes, I taught 4th grade last year, I taught 5th and 6th grade and 3rd grade. When you're in the teacher's shoes, you have a whirlwind of things hitting you left and right that sometimes it's just hard to focus and point tasks and what those tasks, how they align with stuff. So having people go into the classrooms and having a set time to work with teachers, it helps them focus a little bit, or even advocating for them to have a few hours, extra hours of prep when they need it to meet with us to form that. Yeah, it helps significantly.
Well, yeah, they're almost down in the weeds, right? Looking at each thing. You guys are looking across the long game and helping them with the strategies, not just the tactics. So good work.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. With that, we'll move on to the administrative reports, and we'll start with Ms. Woods. Everyone had a chance to look at that. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
The new science curriculum that we got this year, did that encompass kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, or was that just because I remember us going through it and approving it. Was it just an elementary curriculum, or?
Second, right?
Yep, second
We talked about
to
several, so I
6
caught up.
was the Amplify, and then we did 8 through 12 was a different curriculum, or 9 through 12.
But we replaced both. It's just
Yeah.
Right, so
different.
2 through
Okay.
8, sorry, 2 through
Yeah.
8 was Amplify, and then 9 through 12 was high school. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I noticed she said, I think it was when she was talking about the scores for the winter fast tests, that they dip. Is that, do you know if the data shows, do they dip lower, are they lower than they are at the beginning of the school year? Or is it just like a dip historically that they don't have as much growth?
So we haven't actually taken the winter, that hasn't
Right.
opened yet.
Right,
So-
right.
My assumption, without talking to her, she was out today, but without talking to her, my assumption is that's the historical.
Okay,
historical.
okay.
If I remember correctly, we talked about this last time. It's because the kids are coming off of
Right.
break, and then they go right into a test. And there was some, I can't remember if it was about the calendar. I think it was when it came up to the calendar, there was a lot of teachers that were, wanting to try and get those tests before the breaks. But
Okay,
that dip, I
okay.
remember them saying, is
See.
because they're coming right off of the break. So.
Okay, yeah, so I was just curious as to like how it correlates with, the beginning of the school year, if it's like not as
Yeah,
much
I mean,
growth, or if it's,
It's not as significant of a dip as you would have coming off a summer break.
Okay.
Even the 2 weeks off of Christmas break or winter break, you still see a dip, right? So, the way I've interpreted what she wrote is that it's just historically.
okay.
I like that they're having the student lead team take on some stuff for the playground and everything. That'll be good. All right.
The only thing I wanted to bring up, just for, I don't know if you're recording this or whatever, for she had in here a reminder, I wanted to publicly talk about this. The grades have different Facebook pages, and those are fun to watch, and the cool things that they're doing. And Ms. Woods had a note in here, and I just wanted to bring that up, to encourage parents and stuff who don't know that's there to go out and follow their kids' grades on the Facebook to keep up with what they're doing. So.
Okay. We'll move on then to Mr. Beckles' report. Any questions, comments on that?
Outstanding progress on the tardies.
Yes.
Getting down,
Yeah.
so that's huge. I think that music was a really good idea that they implemented. Hunter even talks about it when he comes home. He knows when the song's getting close, he's got to get scooting.
I was incredibly caught off guard when I was here for the third day. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, same.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. Better than, I guess, the bells.
All visitors make a comment on
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I see the soup cook-off. And Lacey, she is one of our custodians, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
She took the trophy. That's awesome. All right. Oh, I forgot. You guys are doing that this year, aren't you? The fall finals. Now, this is the first time that was something they were bringing back. All right. So then these will happen when they come back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, I'll be interested to see how that goes. I remember doing those in school, so I never understood why they went away, but. And it's all the way through 7th and 8th grade as well. Okay. And if I remember right, it's not a big percent of the grade, correct?
It's just 9/12.
It is just 9/12. Oh, I saw the lunch was 7, 8.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what threw me off. Okay.
7 and 8, it says that they go on that schedule just because of the shared.
Keep the notes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Fantastic. Any questions or any other comments? All right, with that, we will move on to the superintendent report.
So just with legislative session coming up here soon, just wanted to plug a couple things so that way if you guys are talking to any legislators, you can kind of have an idea. So some of the things of what we're hearing from the superintendent lens at different meetings and stuff is right now legislation, they're talking a potential of 0 to 1% SSA, which would be devastating. So we really, I mean, ultimately we need like 10%, but you know, we won't get that. But I think if we can advocate for 4 or 5% again, please do so with legislators and have those conversations. 0 to 1% is the opposite of sufficient. So please make sure you're having those conversations. Also, what we're hearing, I don't know that it's getting much traction, is there's conversation around cutting the 1 cent sales tax for SAVE in half to make it a half a cent, which would be again extremely challenging for us, especially as we look at facilities that need to continue to be updated, buses that need to be purchased, technology that needs to be updated, all of those things. So you're cutting that 1 cent sales tax in half, and we're losing half of that funding. So I don't know how much momentum that has, but I definitely don't want it to get any more momentum. So then I think the other thing that would be very beneficial for not only us but districts as a whole would be to increase preschool funding to full day. So right now you get half-day preschool funding. I think the other component to that is to increase that to full day, so we can not only get those kids in here full day and get funding for them full day in the year, and we get sufficient funding to be able to service them. So just 3 quick talking points as you're out when you have conversations with people and legislators as the session starts rolling in. I think are big ones that'll have a high impact on us. So.
Well, property tax conversation as well, that's a fourth one that could be a big impact for us. They're talking about.
We don't have enough time to talk property tax. But yes, you are absolutely right,
Yeah.
property tax. Yeah.
And I would echo the finance, when Monica and I went to the Iowa Association of School Boards, we went through Finance 201, and that lady also echoed, she didn't say 1%, she said they were aiming at 0%. And so, yeah.
Question on the daycare fund. If we went from half day to full day, would you foresee more people wanting
Then
to?
we could expand the daycare.
Do we have the size and the ability and the resources?
I would like to have that challenge. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, right now we get the funding for a half day, so we're serving them for a half day.
Right.
But like right now, we don't have the footprint to facilitate that at the moment.
It
Correct.
would be extremely challenging. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But I think it would be a good challenge to
oh yeah.
troubleshoot.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to pick a battle, it'd be a good battle. Yeah.
Anything else with legislative items? All right, just another reminder about our community conversations that'll start in January. Right now, I have Jessica and Nathan at that first one. Just would like to get some names on the schedule for the future meetings, so that way we can kind of plan for that. And again, just because your name's on the calendar doesn't mean we have to. We can make adjustments, but so we have February 23rd, March 23rd, April 27th, and May 18th. Is there any date that you know right now you won't be able to do?
Can't do May 18th,
Okay.
but the other ones, as long as I put them in my calendar now, should be
So-
fine.
So are you guys comfortable if I just put a schedule together and I can just send it out in the weekly update? And then when you guys can say, oh, that date isn't gonna work, but, I mean, they're all scheduled for board meeting dates, so. I will do that, and then if we need to adjust, or if somebody can't get here in time, then we can adjust that way. But just remember, if you're not on the schedule to be here, I'm asking that you don't come. So that way we don't have quorum, right?
Yeah.
We don't want any more than 2 board members at those conversations. Anything else with community conversations? Okay. Small vehicle purchase. So thanks to Dan for helping us out and communicating with Bobby to get a couple vans purchased. We're able to get 2 vans purchased for about $40,000 a piece. I did put some comparisons in there in the agenda. They were about 60. I'm trying to think where it was now. Yeah. So the other vehicles or quotes that were given to us were $60,000 a piece, so we saved about $20,000 a van. So thank you guys for approving up to amount last month, so we could go ahead and move forward on those purchases. And Bobby's looking at a couple other vehicles, so we can continue to update that small vehicle fleet, which is very much needed.
Can you use the money, because we approved up to a certain amount, so you got 40,000 sitting around, can she go buy a third if she needs to? Cool.
Yep. So since you guys approved all the way up to 170,
Yeah.
she can
Oh, yeah, she can get a couple more.
use that until it's gone,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
All
Cool.
right. So. All right, and then the last thing on my list, so it's time to review the 200 series, which is just part of our schedule of board policy, the review schedule, sorry. So nothing's necessarily led us to review these policies other than the review schedule. So all the policies have to be reviewed every 5 years. The 200 series was on that schedule, so.
I'm used to changes being in things, and I started reading through all of them. I'm like, wait, there's no changes. So just to
Correct.
confirm, there's no
Yep.
changes this time?
Right.
Because sometimes when we go review them, we got updates from ISB, but this just
Yeah.
happens to be none?
Nope,
Okay.
this is just the 200 series review.
Yeah, I got a half an hour into it before I realized it.
You enjoyed it.
That was on my
Really
flight
does.
back from Belgium, believe it or not.
So now move on to discuss and approve the consent items. So after reviewing, do I have, or I guess we'll go through.
Are there any questions on the consent items?
All right, yeah, before we go through, any questions on the consent items?
Motion to approve the consent items?
So then a motion to approve the consent
on a
items.
second.
And we have to go through the list, don't we?
That's our last pay.
Yes.
So
Oh.
the pay apps, that's our last pay app for the Fields project. Just want to make sure
It was on the, yeah.
it was on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everybody was aware, so you shouldn't see any more pay apps for the Fields. Sorry.
That's retainage,
No, you're
right?
fine.
That was retainage, correct?
Well, besides DCIs or DD, yeah.
It doesn't have DCI's retainage, but it has everybody else's a
Yeah,
retainage.
everyone
company.
else
Yeah,
has been.
that's what
This
I
was
thought
the
it
last
looked like.
company.
Okay.
So I read things.
All right. So with the consent items, we have obviously the bills, monthly meetings, but to get to the hires, we have Robert Banger is hired as the new elementary librarian associate. That will be effective December 8th, 2025, so he's already in there going. Which is great, because then he's going with, she's training him currently. That's awesome, okay. And then Christy, I hope I pronounced this right, Rolf, is hired as a pre-K associate effective December 9th, 2025, so she's going in already. We have resignations of Courtney Spray resigns as an associate effective December 19th, 2025, and Shelby Blanchard is resigning as an associate effective December 8th, 2025. And then we have a voluntary transfer with Amy Myers going to the high school next school year to be the art teacher there. And then we have some open enrollments for 1 in and 2 out. And then approval of the November payout for Fields. And then the DCI invoice that you just had noted. All right, so any questions on consent discussion? All right, I would take a motion to approve.
You already got a motion on the table, just need the second.
I'll second.
Oh, got it, so I got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, and then now we go to our action agenda items. Bring those up. First one we have is the approval for the at-risk plan for the district. So any discussion on this?
Are there any changes from the plan from last year?
I
don't think so.
The only change, we did make a change, but it was the removal of software that we no longer use.
All right, I would take a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the district at-risk plan as presented.
I'll second it.
It's been appropriately motioned and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Our second one is the at-risk dropout MSA application. So looking at the modified supplemental amount and supplemental aid of $236,120. Any questions or discussion on this?
Where does this funding come from?
It's all property tax. So when we do our budget, in order to have it on our budget for next year, we have to approve it every single year.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I guess just for my own knowledge, what is it for?
To give extra supports to students that are at risk.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
whether it's poverty reasons, any other home life, struggling with school, just to have those extra supports.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it's basically a vote to be able to tax a little bit more in order to get that funding.
Yep.
Yep.
I would open the floor for a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve.
It's been motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
It's been properly seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now we're gonna look at the approval for board policies, the second reading for the 803.01 disposition of obsolete equipment.
And this is just an increase from 5,000 to 10,000 and then posting it on gov deals.
Okay. Questions or discussion? All right, I would open the floor for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the policies presented.
It's been properly motioned. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And we'll move on to looking at approval for interactive displays. So they have 15 interactive displays that are used for instructional use. The Educational Foundation has graciously stepped up to reimburse the district for 14 of the 15 displays. This is a net cost to the district of $953. 3 are going to the second grade team and 12 will be dispersed into the secondary school classrooms. So, do I have any questions, discussions on
Are
that?
these those boards that they were talking about earlier?
No, those were double-sided.
Oh, okay.
And not electronic.
These are the interactive.
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah,
taking
those
do
were
stuff on
double-sided.
there
Yeah,
and-
those were
yeah.
double-sided whiteboards, that's right.
Questions? I would open the floor for a motion to approve.
A motion to approve the purchase of 15 interactive displays from Howard Technology Solutions for $14,295.
It's been properly motioned. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now we look at approval for FFA fundraiser payment for products. So the FFA fundraiser costs are estimated to cost $15,000 to $20,000 with vendors like Four Seasons and Harvest Barn. So questions or comments?
What do we get from them, I guess, for that?
Their meat
We
and
got
cheese,
it.
their fruit sale.
Oh, so when the kids are doing the fundraising, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
anytime there's invoices or anything over 5,000, the board needs to approve it specifically.
Gotcha.
So in this case, they sold us all the foods. We got it, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The kids showed up, and all the money goes to them. Now they need to pay the vendors for the food.
Understood. Okay.
So,
A motion to approve the FFA fundraiser with Four Seasons Harvest Barn up 20,000.
been properly motioned, do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded, all those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and now approval for educational sign language interpreter job description. This service is required as part of a student's programming, so questions or concerns?
I know this is just approving the job description. Are we going to be looking for like a shared one, or is this full-time one?
This would be a full-time position to
Okay.
meet the needs of the student.
Okay.
And is the student already here, or is it an, okay. All right.
Okay.
I would open the floor for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the job description for the ESL interpreter.
Been properly motioned, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Properly seconded, all those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Alright. Okay, so, upcoming dates, we just have our next board meeting, which will be scheduled Monday, January 26th, same time, and then we will have the community forum or questions, whatever, before, with a couple of us there, myself and Nathan. Alright. I would open the floor to a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Properly motioned, I'll take a second.
I'll second.
And seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're adjourned.